Hello everyone, welcome back. Please comment, rate, subscribe, folks. Comment, rate, subscribe, like the videos. Also share the videos. I want to thank everyone that does like, watching, and share my videos. You folks are the absolute best. Listen folks, there's a link tree down below. Has links to all of my social media platforms. Please go down there, follow me across all my social media platforms and talk to me because I talk back. Also down there as well as links to all of my YouTube pages. Please go down there, subscribe to all my YouTube pages and turn on your notifications so when I post content, you folks will be in the know. Listen folks, Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern, we will be talking Jets, okay? We'll be talking everything that's going on with the team, everything that we got coming up, roster stuff, all that stuff. So please call in. I take live callers, and I love going back with you folks, all right? Love going back and forth with folks about this football team. So with that said and done and put to the side, I want to talk to you folks today about the New York Jets making some changes with their staff. Their coaching staff is changing up. Cavanaugh, John Beck, they're gone. You know what I'm saying? The Jets have moved on from them going into 2022. So we're going to discuss what's going on in that QB room with Zach Wilson. So let's get into it. So Cavanaugh was brought in, you know, kind of replaced Greg Knapp. You know, rest in peace to Coach Knapp, who lost his life, you know, before the Jets season. And he was the guy that was brought in again as an offensive assistant. And he was kind of the de facto, like, QB coach. All right, there was a lot of guys in the room, but he was like the guy that was the QB coach. Then you also brought in John Beck as well. The Jets did that as well to help Zach Wilson too along the sidelines. Now, John Beck was the guy that was Zach's like personal QB coach. This is a guy that he worked with in the offseason to try to get himself together and get ready for the season. So you had him bring him in, and a lot of people were saying, well, you know, the Jets could bring Beck back this year. They just, you know, don't have to kind of, you know, do anything with him in the offseason. Just keep him unsigned and sign him during the year. And I was thinking that I think would probably raise an hair with the NFL. And they would probably come after the Jets because that's trying to find a way to circumvent the CBA. And I think that the National Football League, I could see them coming down on the Jets for doing that. Especially, again, John Beck, he works with various quarterbacks, and he will be working with Zach Wilson this offseason. So if you're doing that, and they see that you're working with this guy in the offseason, and then you sign back to the team during the season, they'll be like, I could just see them coming after the Jets. So I think that the New York Jets are just moving on from John Beck. And again, John Beck is a guy that, you know, has a private QB practice. He does his thing. So he works with, you know, quarterbacks. And again, he'll be working with Zach Wilson this upcoming offseason. So with those two guys gone, it's looking like Rob Calabrese and LaFleur are going to be the main guys now working with Zach Wilson in that quarterback room. All right, those are going to be the two guys. Calabrese's role is going to be, you know, a bit more expanded, but he's going to be the QB guy now in there with Zach, and they're going to be going back and forth. So it's not going to be a lot of voices in that room anymore. It's going to be those two guys. I think they're still looking for a quality control guy as well on offense. So we'll see, you know, who they hire from that. But this is big. This is really big, and I think a lot of fans aren't talking about it enough because these situations are what help build young quarterbacks, okay? And let me tell you, the New York Jets have had issues building quarterbacks in the past because we failed them mainly with coaching. Bad coaching has been one of the biggest issues with our lack of grooming young quarterbacks. And I can give you a prime example with Sam Darnold. If you look at what we did to Sam Darnold, not just from a talent perspective, right? You know, Mike McCagnon and his issues getting talent in here and drafting guys. Okay, put that aside. When you look at the coaches that we gave Sam Darnold, it's no wonder that, you know, he was never going to work out here. It was just no wonder because you started off with Todd Bowles, who had various offensive coordinators. And then I think 1 year he had Jeremy Bates, right? And then we move on from Todd Bowles. And I remember that offseason that we moved on from Todd Bowles, the big thing was, hey, we need to ensure that we get somebody that's about helping Sam Darnold. We need to get somebody that's going to ensure that Sam Darnold is going to be the guy. He's going to raise him up. His offensive scheme is going to fit Sam. They're going to do everything to make Sam better. We need to make sure that we get a guy that can do that. And we brought in Adam Gase, and and Darryl Loggins. That was the end of that, okay? That was the end of that. That was the death of anything that could have possibly have been good here with Sam Darnold. And you saw the horrific coaching. You saw an offensive coordinator or offensive guru that had no clue how to utilize Sam's skill set, had no clue how to call plays for him, had no clue of like what he was really doing out there. I mean, and we saw a lack of development with Sam Darnold as well too, because in that coaching, you know, with those coaches, Loggins and him, they never really had a guy to deal with Sam Darnold from a QB coach perspective. You know, so it was just big time issues, man, there. So you look at other franchises, though, that have done it the right way. Hell, you don't have to look very far. You can look within our own division. You look at the Bills and what they've been able to do with Josh Allen. They did it the right way, okay? Not just the talent stuff, building around him. Let's just put that aside. They put the coaching around him to ensure that he would succeed. For those of you that do not remember, Josh Allen in the draft was looked at as one of the biggest gambles. Everybody said, yo, this guy's got an unbelievable arm, right? He's unbelievably talented. He's a big guy. He can move a bit too. But guess what? He's wildly inaccurate, and that's not going to get better. His mechanics are terrible. All these things about him, right? Constantly. I myself, you know, even when he came into the league, we saw that. He was wildly inaccurate. He would take off running when he didn't have to. I called him a glorified running back for years. And then all of a sudden, one season, he's not that good. He's throwing interceptions. He's kind of up and down. And then the next season, he turns into an MVP candidate. It was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. And ever since that MVP candidate season, he's been flourishing. This season, he was good. He played very well this season, particularly in the postseason as well. In the playoffs, he played very well. You know, they took an L to the Chiefs, but it wasn't because Josh Allen was playing badly at all. So when you look at what they surrounded him with, the coaching was there. You had, at the time, Brian Daboll, who before he took his coaching job, that was the offensive coordinator there. They surrounded Josh Allen with guys, and he even talked about himself sitting down with quarterback gurus, sitting down with quarterback coaches that helped him fix his mechanics and fix the way that he was throwing the football. And he's a completely different quarterback. And so when you look at that from that perspective, you say, okay, if we can do the same for Zach Wilson here, surround him with guys. Again, LaFleur looks unbelievable, like an unbelievable offensive coordinator. Booth LaFleur is unmatched, okay? He's phenomenal. And then you got Rob Calabrese out there. If these two guys can do what it takes to help Zach with his mechanics, because there's been times where he's been a bit off, to help him with his eyes, to ensure that he's out there taking care of the football, not throwing interceptions, not looking to throw everything deep like we saw earlier in the season. He started to get settled about the late part of the season, though, and we started to see a lot more, you know, a lot better plays out of him and a lot more out of him talent-wise. If you can surround him with the right guys, you can see another young quarterback here, you know, flourish, finally be able to flourish here. So that's huge. This move, keeping, you know, low voices in the room, making sure that it's just guys around Zach Wilson that are going to make him better, that's big. I'm telling you, it's huge. Coaching, particularly for quarterbacks in this league, is gigantic, and I feel like a lot of Jets fans are not talking about this enough. So comment down below. Let me know what you folks think. What are your thoughts about what we're doing in the quarterback room with Zach Wilson? Do you think Zach Wilson will benefit from this? I want to hear y'all thoughts. Comment down below. Let's go back and forth. You folks have a good one. Peace.